Back in June, Celtic fans were left stunned after Ange Postecoglou became their new manager. Eddie Howe and Lucien Favre had been interviewed for the job, but from nowhere, the Greek-born Australian was announced as Neil Lennon's successor. Alarm bells were ringing. The fact he was arriving from Yokohama F. Marinos in Japan did little to lift supporters who had just watched Rangers shatter their dreams of a 10th straight title. On social media, there was talk of a season ticket boycott, while TalkSport host Alan Brazil questioned, "Is this a wind-up?" live on air. Failure to qualify for the Champions League was followed by a 2-1 loss away at Hearts on the opening day of the season, giving his critics more ammunition. And after subsequent losses to Rangers and Livingston, certain tabloids were speculating that Postecoglou might be out of a job come Christmas. But as the former defender approaches his 1-year anniversary in Glasgow, now you'll find nothing but love for the man simply known as Ange. Unbeaten in the league since September, Postecoglou stands on the brink of a domestic Scottish double. The League Cup is secured and the Premiership title all but confirmed. The Bhoys prize, a first appearance in the Champions League proper since the 2017-18 campaign. All this achieved against the backdrop of major upheaval and changes to the Celtic squad. So, how has the Australian managed to silence his critics and take Scottish football by storm? On this episode of Football Daily Explained, we're travelling to Parkhead to find out. Ange Postecoglou has been linked with jobs in Europe before. Craig Bellamy revealed that Vincent Kompany wanted the Australian with him at Anderlecht, while Postecoglou has admitted Celtic was by no means his first interview with a UEFA club. However, many struggled to look beyond his passport. They always ended up saying they don't know who the hell I am, he told Open Goal, adding, "I could tell by the end of the phone call, this isn't happening." Never before had an Australian been handed a top job at a major European side. But the continent's ignorance is Celtic's gain. So, what was the path that led him to Celtic way? After starting out at A-League side South Melbourne back in 1996, his reputation would go on to flourish at Brisbane Roar. From 2009 to 2012, Postecoglou guided the Queensland outfit to consecutive championships. Not only that, he broke an Australian football code record for the longest unbeaten streak set at 36 games 74 years earlier. His possession-dominant side, nicknamed Rawsalona by the fans, were widely labelled in the Australian media as the best in A-League history. Then in 2013, he was handed the top job for the Australian national side, tasked with overhauling a squad still heavily reliant on the golden generation that reached the last 16 of the 2006 World Cup. Postecoglou's Socceroos would qualify for Brazil a year later, winning their first ever Asian Cup in 2015. Then, with qualification secure for the 2018 World Cup, in Yokohama, he became the first Australian manager ever to win the J-League, ending the Marinos' 15-year wait for a Japanese championship in the process. In short, Postecoglou has won wherever he's gone. This no doubt gave him the confidence to take on the sizable challenge at Celtic, to the point where he arrived at the club without any backroom staff. "Everywhere I've gone, I've always worked with different people or taken new people," he told Open Goal. "My thing is that I enjoy the challenge of convincing people to my way of playing the game." This was a bold strategy, especially given the state he would find Celtic in, both on the pitch and off it. Moving Celtic away from the debris of Neil Lennon's final season in charge was never going to be easy. For all his former glory, the Northern Irishman had left behind a toxic atmosphere, with the team still heavily reliant on the tactics and methods of Lennon's predecessor, Brendan Rodgers. Lennon has since spoken of being stabbed in the front by his former players. Signings like Shane Duffy and Vasilias Barkas proved disastrous, players were pushing for exits, while fans began to protest and jeer Lennon at home matches. Immediately, the honest and straight-talking Postecoglou set about changing the mood at the club. The Hoops fullback Greg Taylor recently spoke of the family feel the Australian has reintroduced, thanks in part to Celtic's excellent recruitment. With the squad in heavy need of transition, last summer 12 players would depart either permanently or on loan. That included Christopher Ayer, Olivier Encham and their influential captain Scott Brown. Then as the summer window came to a head, the tireless Ryan Christie and last year's top goal scorer Odsonne Edouard also left for England after months of speculation. Working closely with the club's newly promoted chief executive Michael Nicholson, Postecoglou cast his net out far and wide in the hunt for fresh faces. For a combined price of just over £13 million, Karl Starfelt arrived from Russia, Lila Barda joined from Israel, Josip Juranovic from Poland, and Georgios Giacomakis pinched from relegated Dutch outfit VVV Venlo. All four have proved excellent value. accruing well over a century of league appearances between them this season. The club also managed to snap up the talented winger Jota on loan from Benfica, and also borrowed Cameron Carter-Vickers from Tottenham. Jota had struggled to break through at his parent club, and scored just once in a loan spell at Real Valladolid. But the Portuguese has lit up Parkhead, scoring and assisting roughly 0.8 times per 90 in league play. The best return for a Celtic player with 1,500 minutes under their belt. The Hoops have a £6.3 million option to buy the 23-year-old, which could prove one of the steals of the summer. Carter-Vickers has been an equally impressive pickup. Arriving off the back of 6 straight loan spells away from parent club Tottenham Hotspur, the American has been a rock in Ange's defence, leading the side for clearances and winning a monstrous 4.4 aerial duels a match. Like Jota, Postecoglou has got the best out of him, and the club will try to keep the 24-year-old permanently amid stiff competition from the Premier League. He's just been rewarded for this rich vein of form with his first call-up to the national side in over 3 years. To say Celtic have taken advantage of Postecoglou's knowledge of Japan would be an understatement. Over the course of the season, they've spent £8 million on 4 players from the J-League in Daisen Maeda, Ryo Hatate, Yosuke Edoguchi, and Kyogo Furuhashi. Of the 4, Maeda and Hatate have settled comfortably into life in Glasgow, while Kyogo has looked like the boys' best player when fit. The Japanese forward has scored 18 in all competitions, including a double in the League Cup final triumph against Hibernian. Without Postecoglou, these talents might never have been given the chance to shine in European competition. And then there's the Australians' effect on Joe Hart. Last season, Vasilias Barkas, Scott Bain and Connor Hazard all struggled in goal, meaning a new keeper was a top priority. Postecoglou turned to Hart, despite the former England #1 contemplating retirement after 5 years of falling short at Torino, West Ham, Burnley and Tottenham. Ange has since stated that all the ex-Manchester City star needed was a bit of love. And sure enough, the Shropshire stopper has been a revelation. Hart has kept 18 clean sheets in the league, while his save percentage has returned to its highest point in a decade. His experience and character has helped lift the club too, with Postecoglou labelling him a first-class person and a real leader in the dressing room. In turn, Hart has credited the Australian with reigniting his passion for the game. His good friend Mika Richards revealed on BBC 5 Live that the keeper considered Postecoglou inspirational and one of the best managers he's played under. Snippets of Postecoglou's team talk before the League Cup final support Hart's opinion. But perhaps the biggest testament to Postecoglou's impact is his effect on the playing squad that he inherited. Previously under fire stars Anthony Ralston and Greg Taylor have enjoyed quality campaigns in defence, while Tom Rogic, his fellow Australian, has produced one of his best seasons yet for the Hoops with 12 contributions in the league at the time of writing. Postecoglou's decision to hand Callum McGregor the captain's armband following Scott Brown's departure to Aberdeen is also paying dividends. Only 2 outfield players have earned more minutes than the Scottish midfielder, who praised his manager for making the players feel 10 feet tall. But it's not just the team's character that's got Parkhead bouncing once more, but the club's updated and modern playing style too. The Celtic of Brendan Rodgers produced some of the best football in the club's modern era. Their offensive style often proved too much to handle for the rest of Scotland, bagging the Hoops 7 trophies during the Northern Irishman's reign. Postecoglou's approach, or Ange Ball as it's been dubbed, has built on Rodgers' foundations. They've adopted a high-risk, high-reward approach, with an intense press that suffocates their opponents. Despite averaging a massive 67% possession, 5% more than Rangers, 11 members of the first team currently average over 1 tackle per game, while 10 players are making over 1 clearance. Callum McGregor's performance in Celtic's recent 4-1 drumming of Hearts symbolised the tenacity of Postecoglou's side. The Hoops had 65% of the ball, but McGregor still managed to win 5 ground duels, complete 4 tackles and make 3 interceptions. Hearts, smothered from the moment they gained possession, could only complete 224 of their 316 attempted passes. Going backwards is not an option under Postecoglou either, something Neil Lennon and Stephen Welsh have discovered the hard way, both suffering Postecoglou's wrath from the sidelines. Negative tactics simply have no place in Ange Ball, a direct influence from his time playing under the legendary Hungarian forward Ferenc Puskas at South Melbourne. At the club, master and apprentice formed a close bond, with Postecoglou driving the ex-Real Madrid star to training. In the Australian's own words, we swapped stories and his philosophy to football was basically just to go out and enjoy yourselves and to score goals. And score goals Celtic have done. With 2 games left to play, Postecoglou's outfits have netted 78 times, already 12 more than last season. Their shots have risen from 17.8 to 20.2 per game, while they're spending 36% of each match in their opponent's third. All stats that no other club in Scotland can compete with. To sustain the relentless waves of attack, Postecoglou has often deployed inverted fullbacks. Either Taylor, Ralston or Juranovic come into the middle of the park, allowing Celtic's midfield to push forward and break the lines. It also helps isolate their wingers with the opposition's fullbacks by drawing more players into the centre. Small tactical nuances that have made a big difference. This has resulted in plenty of opportunities for Celtic, while their high line is able to quickly regain the ball once an attack breaks down. The fact the club have registered 17 different goal scorers in the league also shows that in Postecoglou's Celtic, everyone plays their part. In just 1 year, Ange has managed to lift the mood in all corners of the club. He's got everyone who walks through the gates at Lennoxtown pulling in the right direction, all eager to be part of. They've responded to his demands with domination on the pitch, earning him the Scottish Football Writers and PFA Managers of the Year award. So team, that was how Ange Postecoglou rebuilt Celtic. But if you haven't got your explained fix, click on screen right now for another great episode. We'd really appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel with notifications on. We'll catch you next time.